Hello, this is Dr. Grande. Today I will analyze the case of Jennifer Gledhill. First, I'll look at the background of this case, move to the timeline of the crime, then offer my analysis. Jennifer Gledhill was born on February 4, 1983, and lived in Cottonwood Heights, Utah. She was raised by her parents, Thomas and Rosalie Gledhill. At some point, Jennifer married a man named Matthew Johnson, and they went on to have 3 children. The family lived in a 3,600 square foot 5-bedroom house on Horizon Circle. The marriage between the couple was contentious and dysfunctional. Later, court documents indicated that both Jennifer and Matthew engaged in confrontational behavior. In July 2024, Jennifer filed for divorce. During the next month, she sought a temporary protective order, but the court found that there was no evidence of mistreatment, and the request was denied in September. At some point, Jennifer had moved out of the family house, but then moved back in with Matthew. Now moving to the timeline of the crime. On September 25, 2024, an acquaintance of Matthew Johnson contacted the Cottonwood Heights Police Department and requested assistance in locating him. Both men had served in the National Guard. The acquaintance was concerned because Matthew had not returned to work, which was out of the ordinary. He tried calling Matthew several times, but the calls went directly to voicemail. The National Guard was getting ready to list Matthew as absent without leave. 3 days later, Jennifer Gledhill reported Matthew as missing. She stated that she had not seen or heard from Matthew since Friday, September 20, 2024. According to Jennifer, they had an argument on that day. Matthew told her that he was going to be gone for a week and not to call him. The police found it curious that Jennifer seemed to be nervous and distracted as she recounted the story. It didn't take long for the police to discover that Jennifer was having an affair. Her lover is a man who has not been identified publicly. I will refer to him as John, as in John Doe. John had a frightening and disturbing story to tell the police. He said that on Sunday, September 22, 2024, just before midnight, Jennifer contacted him and asked to come by his house. She wanted to deliver some prints to him. When Jennifer arrived, she was visibly distraught. She told John she was probably going away for a long time and wanted to give the prints to someone who would enjoy them. According to John, here is what Jennifer reported to him. On Friday, September 20, Matthew came home and started yelling at Jennifer because he was aware of her infidelity. On Saturday, September 21, Jennifer retrieved a Glock pistol chambered in 9mm Luger and approached Matthew as he was asleep in bed. She pointed the pistol at his head and fired. Matthew did not survive. At this point, Jennifer destroyed Matthew's cell phone and hid his vehicle in a neighborhood not far from their house. She put Matthew's body into a rooftop storage container, slid him down the stairs, and loaded him into the back of her silver 2018 Chrysler Pacifica. Jennifer drove north to an undisclosed location. There she dug a hole and buried Matthew in a shallow grave. She cleaned up the evidence of her crime. John noticed bruises on Jennifer's arms and legs. She indicated they came from moving Matthew's body and cleaning. If the police found out that she murdered her husband, Jennifer intended on bringing an end to her own life. She refused to spend her life in prison. Jennifer ordered John not to say anything about the murder and assured him that remaining silent was not a crime. John's story about what Jennifer told him was supported by text and WhatsApp messages between him and Jennifer. In these messages, Jennifer indicated that if she had heard a story like the one she told him, she would take it to the grave. She also wrote, quote, "I washed everything and vacuumed, and it's not an issue anymore," unquote. In addition to these messages, John recorded a phone call between him and Jennifer. In this call, Jennifer apologized for telling John what happened and asked him not to think of her as a monster. She wanted John to remember who she was before she opened her mouth. In an apparent effort to justify the idea of killing, Jennifer talked about how she wanted to round up the scum of the earth, put them on an island, and kill them all. She insisted the country would be in a good place if she could do this. John indicated that he was frightened of Jennifer. She responded by saying this broke her heart. She was not capable of hurting a fly. Jennifer said, quote, "He's not a person. He wasn't a person anymore. He wasn't Matt," unquote. John stated that on Thursday, September 19, one day before Jennifer's confession to him, she had showed him a Glock 19X. This is a semi-automatic pistol chambered in 9mm Luger. It is essentially a slide from a Glock 19 attached to a frame from a Glock 17. Investigators spoke to one of Jennifer's neighbors, who told them that on Friday, September 20, she noticed Matthew's truck backed into the garage of Jennifer's house. On the evening of Saturday, September 21, and into early Sunday, September 22, the neighbor could hear Jennifer and Matthew arguing. When the neighbor left her house on Sunday afternoon, Matthew's truck was not in the driveway. On Tuesday, September 24, 2024, she observed Jennifer's mother and father at the house for about 5 hours. The neighbor's mother said that she saw the parents cleaning. On September 30, the police found Matthew's truck 0.3 miles away from his home. They executed a search warrant of the house that Jennifer and Matthew shared. In the master bedroom, they found a mattress on a wooden frame, but there was no box spring. The mattress appeared to be new. The entire wall behind the bed appeared to have fresh white marks from cleaning, and it was covered in bleach. Reddish-brown spots were found on the walls, the blinds, and the bed frame. In the carpet beneath where Matthew's head would have been positioned when he was sleeping, the police found his blood. In the basement of the house, there was a strong odor of chlorine. Data from Jennifer's cell phone were examined. On Sunday, September 22, 2024, at about 6 a.m., the phone was near where Matthew's truck was discovered 8 days later. At 1:44 p.m., the phone started moving north toward Davis County. It was powered off at 2:37 p.m. At 5:07 p.m., it was powered on. At 10:37 p.m., Jennifer's Chrysler Pacifica was captured at a car wash. A person could be seen thoroughly cleaning the vehicle. The phone left the car wash at 11:07 p.m. and arrived at Jennifer's house at 11:47 p.m. When the police searched the Chrysler Pacifica, they found bags of psilocybin mushrooms packaged for individual sale. Also, the rear seats were folded down as if somebody wanted more cargo room in the vehicle. Investigators searched the house where Jennifer's parents lived. They found a container for a Glock 19X wrapped in a child's onesie. This is the same model weapon that, according to John, Jennifer showed him the day before she confessed. Investigators spoke to Jennifer's parents. Her mother, Rosalie, admitted that she purchased a mattress on Amazon on Tuesday, September 24, at Jennifer's request. It was delivered to Jennifer's house. The police asked her father, Thomas, if he went to the master bedroom. He responded, quote, "I did not go in where the incident happened," unquote. The police found a vehicle rooftop storage container which had become visible due to a storm. It was consistent with one that Jennifer owned. Matthew's blood was found inside the container. Investigators also found a foam mattress topper and a rug which matched a mattress topper and rug which had been in Jennifer's house. On October 2, 2024, Jennifer Gledhill was arrested and charged with murder, desecration of a body, tampering with a witness, possession of a controlled substance, and 5 counts of obstruction of justice. On October 24, the police arrested Jennifer's parents, Thomas and Rosalie Gledhill. They were charged with multiple counts of obstruction of justice. At the time I'm making this video, Jennifer is working her way through the legal system toward her trial. She is being held without bond. Now moving to my analysis. Jennifer Gledhill maintains her innocence, and she has a few supporters who do not believe she killed her husband Matthew. The state, of course, disagrees. They believe the evidence against Jennifer is overwhelming. This brings me to the question, is Jennifer guilty of murder? Let's take a look at the evidence both for and against the idea that she is guilty, starting with the inculpatory factors. Jennifer had a contentious relationship with Matthew. They were going through a divorce, but also living together in the same house. In addition, Jennifer was having an affair. The last time Matthew was seen was on September 20, 2024. Since he went missing, he has not accessed any financial accounts or used any electronic devices. His military ID and his passport were found in his bedroom. Matthew never had a habit of disappearing. This is highly out of the ordinary. The police indicated they recovered a video of Jennifer and Matthew arguing in their house right before Matthew disappeared. Presumably, this video was recorded on a cell phone. Also, a witness heard them arguing during that same time. Jennifer allegedly confessed to her lover John that she murdered Matthew and disposed of his body. John's account is partially corroborated by messages and a recorded phone call. In the recording, Jennifer specifically mentioned the name Matt and referred to him in the past tense. This call occurred before Matthew was reported missing. Jennifer's parents were seen cleaning her house. The only person Jennifer called around the time of Matthew's disappearance was her father, Thomas. When confronted by the police, he specifically mentioned a room where the incident happened. Jennifer's mother admitted to buying a new mattress at Jennifer's request. At around the time Matthew disappeared, Jennifer's phone traveled north and was deactivated for a while. This is consistent with the story she allegedly told John. Later that day, Jennifer's Chrysler Pacifica was spotted at a car wash being cleaned not long before it arrived at Jennifer's house. John allegedly saw a pistol which matched a pistol case found in the house of Jennifer's parents. The police recovered a foam mattress topper and a rug, which were consistent with the mattress topper and rug from Jennifer's house. Investigators found a vehicle rooftop container, which matched one that Jennifer owned. Matthew's blood was found inside the container. Moving to the exculpatory factors, Matthew's body has not been found. It's possible that he is still alive. His blood was found in the vehicle rooftop container, but the quantity of blood was very small. It was so small that the state initially had concerns that all of it would be consumed during DNA testing. The firearm allegedly used to kill Matthew has never been recovered. There's no way to know for certain if it was the Glock 19X that Jennifer allegedly showed to John. When considering all the evidence in this case, do I believe that Jennifer Gledhill is guilty of murder? In my opinion, yes, she is guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. It is important to note that at the time I'm making this video, Jennifer enjoys the presumption of innocence. The fact that Matthew has never been found has led some people to look at this case as mysterious and uncertain. There is a nebulous portion to it. Not everything is known. But I believe the evidence points in only one direction. Over the years, I've covered hundreds of cases which glide on a razor's edge between innocence and guilt. The case of Jennifer Gledhill is not one of those. The state is correct. The evidence of her guilt is overwhelming. What do I think happened in this case? This is just a theory, my opinion. Jennifer Gledhill was self-centered, impulsive, irresponsible, cold, callous, deceptive, hedonistic, overconfident, erratic, and had a sense of entitlement. In the time leading up to Matthew's disappearance, she was having an affair and was allegedly dealing drugs. But these factors do not necessarily explain why Jennifer killed Matthew. The murder probably occurred because she was angry at Matthew. The cleanup effort executed by Jennifer was haphazard, and a lot of evidence was left behind. She had just about no chance of getting away with the murder. Jennifer assumed her affair partner, John, would not be offended by her homicidal behavior. Like killing a man was no big deal, and they could just continue their romance. Maybe they would live happily ever after. She was stunned when John expressed concerns about the murder part. This demonstrates how Jennifer had a lack of insight and a lack of empathy. She did not understand her own thoughts and feelings and was unable to accurately assess the reactions of others. In order to explain the murder to her frightened lover, Jennifer pretended Matthew was not even a person when she killed him, and suggested rounding up bad people and executing them. From her perspective, this would make the world a better place. In reality, what makes the world a better place is Jennifer being in prison. If having people think of her as a killer breaks her heart, Jennifer should prepare for many years of disappointment and suffering. Those are my thoughts on the case of Jennifer Gledhill. Thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you soon. One of the many bizarre elements of this case is how Jennifer's parents allegedly assisted her with the cleanup effort after she allegedly murdered Matthew. I have seen this in many cases over the years. A person will commit a crime, and then they'll ask family members or friends to assist them, and the people say yes. Like they didn't have anything better to do that day than to commit serious offenses. I guess it really just shows how the difference between being a criminal and not a criminal is sometimes really just about motive. Like if people go through their lives and they never have a motive introduced, like they never have a daughter call them and say, hey, help me with a cleanup effort, they will never commit a crime. It's just a matter of having the right incentive to move forward. It's interesting that people would view helping in this situation as beneficial to the person who committed the crime. Like, if Jennifer was guilty, would helping her clean up the house really improve her position? Wouldn't it be better if she paid the price for committing murder? Family members automatically assume that if another family member commits a crime, it's just a one-time thing, or it was somehow justified. Like, the criminal is different than all other offenders in the world. They deserve a break. Everyone else needs to go to prison, but that family member who committed the crime, their situation was special. They need to escape responsibility. So really, there's a bit of arrogance built into this. Like, if Jennifer's parents are guilty, they were looking at their daughter and saying, she deserves to not pay any price. She is better than other people. She is above the law. So it's not just this alleged offense of obstruction of justice. It's this false belief that Jennifer was special. Both factors are disturbing in this case.